Hey folks, this is Matt once again with the Back to the videos. This is a paid request from Masi. Thank you so much for that. For anyone that wants to request anything, PayPal is usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. The links will be either there or there, wherever YouTube puts the info box nowadays. But Late Night with the Devil is the video for today. And I heard some hype about this. I thought it was okay at the end of the day. Maybe like a 2.5 out of 5-star movie for me. It's hard to do ratings because sometimes a month later I may go a little bit up or a little bit down more. But it's kind of in the middle where it's okay. It's nothing I would ever watch again. I didn't hate the film. I like the concept. I like the initial idea. I would say especially the first 15 minutes I think is fairly good. The setup of it, because it's cool. Okay, to take place in 1977 during a talk show. You think it's going to be a mock documentary, but then it becomes found footage, and it's about this show that was the last episode, and it was supposed to be for Sweeps Week, where they talk with this possessed person. Very inspired by that one Ghost Watch from the 90s. I thought the lead guy, which I believe he was Polka Dot Man in the last James Gunn movie, the Suicide Squad. I think that the guy who played Polka Dot Man, he got to be the lead in this. I thought he did a really good job as Jack, who has this talk show called Night Owls with Jack Delroy. He was very solid. And the first 15 minutes, it shows the history of the show from 1972 to 1977, the episodes of the talk show, pictures of newspapers and articles, and it's voiced by Michael Ironside. He's narrating it. I'm like, wow, they got Michael Ironside. Great actor. He was in Starship Troopers. He was in Total Recall, Watchers, the first Scanners movie. Great actor. I'm like, can we have a full movie of Michael Ironside narrating this fake documentary? That would have been much more appealing to me. But it's not. And then as the movie goes on, it kind of... This might have worked better for me as maybe part of an anthology and be shorter. Or if they kind of stuck with their rules, which I'll get to in a few minutes, because they bring up their rules and then they break them all the time to the point I kind of became less interested. And it really wasn't that creepy or scary. And the ending I wasn't big on, so I have a lot of issues with it. Like the way it begins, where then it shows Jack and how he's competing with the Johnny Carson show and how he had this love of his life called Madeline, and how Sally, even though she didn't smoke or anything, she got cancer. And the way they do the talk show where he's doing the jokes, kind of like you would see Johnny Carson, these type of setups and jokes, and he has his version of Ed McMahon over there, and the setup of it does remind you of those talk shows, especially back in the day. I'm sorry about the background noise, it's just how it is out here. People doing stuff outside. And so because of Sweeps Week and the death of his wife, he took a break. His ratings are going down. He decides to do this special around Halloween of 1977 where he's going to talk with a psychic called Christu, this magician who's a skeptic, this parapsychologist, and this lady that survived this mass suicide thing called Lily. She was a survivor of this. And that she knows this spirit called Mr. Wriggles, because it wriggles in and out of her head. And that's what I mean, the initial setup in 15-20 minutes, I was intrigued. But then, like, I kind of figured where it was going because they put so much hints. Like, I know you, Jack. Like, they put so much hints that I kind of knew where it was going. So it was kind of predictable to a point. They throw in some really bad effects in the third act, which I'll get into when spoilers, that really took you out of the movie. It's supposed to be found footage, but then you have this really bad looking video game CGI that just completely defeated the purpose of the aesthetic. And then it kept breaking its rules. And I don't know, maybe because I've seen so many fake documentary films like Savage Land I really enjoyed. It wasn't a horror film, but Population Zero I enjoyed. Beneath, or was it the one with Loch Ness? I have the DVD over there actually. That had Werner Herzog in it. Even stuff like The Tunnel, Butterfly Kisses. I've just seen so many of these type of films, so it didn't seem that unique to me. Although again, I like the 70s talk show. That was, I think, my favorite part of it is that setup, and the lead actor I thought did a good job. But it kept breaking its rules, and that really threw me for a loop, and it took me out of the movie fairly quickly. Now, they did in spoilers. What I mean by that is Michael Ironside sets it up really well. He's narrating. You get this great montage of the history between 72 to 77 of this guy Jack and his talk show, and how it's doing well, not as well as Johnny Carson, but still doing well. But he still wants to be number one, and the downfalls and all that jazz. How his show became a bit more controversial and trying to be a little bit more shock value. And again, the death of his wife. He took a break, does the sweeps week. Things like, we found the footage. This is the last footage, the last show that happened of Night Owls. I know there's a big controversy about the interstitials being done with AI. I didn't give a rat's ass. I really didn't. They appear for like 10 seconds. What was more annoying was how many damn production companies was at the beginning of this damn movie. There was like 9 of them. It went for like 5 minutes. Just, okay, production company. I counted at least 9. There might have been one I missed. But it's like, okay, IFC Films. Alright. Shudder. Okay. Image Nation. Alright, can we get to the movie? Vidstream. Damn, okay, it's a lot. Good Fiend. Well, damn, and that or the other was like a bit of an animation for this production company. Okay, can we get to the movie now? Cinetic. Damn, okay. AGC Studios. Okay, is the movie going to start, or is it just going to be a bunch of companies? Future Pictures. Can I be in the future when I'm actually watching the film? Spooky Pictures. It's spooky how many damn companies it took to make this damn movie. 9 of them at least. Damn. How the I want to know that info. How did this movie take 9 studios to be a part of it, or 9 companies? I want to know that. I want to know the timeline, how 9 of them. Shudder, okay, maybe we'll showcase on Shudder, but like IC Films, okay. Maybe 1 more, but then 6 more? After that? That was bothering more than the AI interstitial pictures. Didn't give a rat's ass about that. So again, he does a stand-up thing where he's doing jokes. And again, I like that it's similar to how Johnny Carson then would do it. The setup, the type of punchlines they were. I thought they fit. As we're looking at the master tape. The Psychiatrist 2 is coming out. He's doing his bit. where a lot of Spider Day people would do this. I see a name. Is it Billy, Baldwin, that type of thing where they say a name, Eddie, or is it Edmonton? Like they just like, only you're trying to find out he really was a psychic. He was telling the truth. But then he freaks out for a bit. They stop. And then they show behind the scenes in black and white. Now, for a minute, I'm thinking, oh, okay. They cut the commercial, and the camera is still shooting. But no, that wouldn't be the case. Because number one, the cameras back then were big. Like, they were huge. You can't just move those whenever you want to, and then get really close into someone without them noticing it. And then like it cuts very rapid back and forth like a modern film. The camera's being held and controlled like a modern film. I'm like, wait a minute, we were told we're watching the tape. But I guess, is that why they make it black and white? To go, by the way guys, this is not the tape. I thought they kind of, we're supposed to be in the frame of watching the tape like everybody else would be watching. But then it's like, well, then why are we doing found footage in the first place? Why aren't you just making an actual film if that's the case? Because it breaks so frequently from the found footage format to an actual film with these behind the scenes. Why aren't you just making an actual film? It's weird, like it's like they want to do this gimmick, then they realize how tough and tight the handcuffs are. So now it's behind the scenes here, and it's behind the scenes there, and it's not supposed to be if it was like a documentary crew that followed them, hey, this is Sweets Week, and we heard a lot about this, we want to do a show on you, and it's like, hey, you got mics on them? Okay, turn it up, No, that wasn't the case. And the camera's up close, and they don't know it's a camera, so that camera's not meant to be there. Especially when there's important information that they don't want leaked out, like a person dying. They're talking to each other, a person died, but the camera's like right here on their face. Okay, well, the camera, it's like you're led to believe it's found footage, and when it has to take me a minute to go, oh, wait a minute, we're not found footage now. It's black and white, but is this a different camera? Because some cameras were black and white back in the 70s. Oh no, this is just, I guess they just filmed it black and white just to differentiate. This is not found footage anymore, it's just behind the scenes. But then I guess I guess that's the case. This one, though, it took me out of it. I'm like, okay, now it's not found footage. Now it is. Oh, now okay. Some films can do that in a better way. Like The Tunnel. It's interviews, then we show you the footage, then it's interviews, then we show you the footage. But you set up your rules and you follow them. Here it sets up the rules of, this is Buck Ironside narrating, we're going to show you the master tape, then we break the rules. We're not showing the master tape. Then we are. Then we're not. Then we are. I'm like, if you don't set up the rules, at least follow your own damn rules. So it took me out of it, and I don't know, I probably would have liked it a bit more if it did follow the found footage thing all the way through. Or if not, just make the regular film all the way through. So again, in the spoilers, the psychic freaked out. They bring out this skeptic who was a magician, be very theatrical, which I wasn't sure about his performance. And then the psychic spits this blood bile, and it's done in a way that it looks digital. Maybe it wasn't, but it looked fake. It looked digital. Because he's like over here and he spits over and then he spits on the camera, and I'm like, that looks digital. If it wasn't, then they did a bad job not making it look like that. So either it was digital or they made it so poorly it looked digital. And when it's supposed to be this 70s aesthetic, and then you see something that looks easily digital, it's like, okay, just took me out of it. So he goes off to the hospital. We find out later that he died on the way. On the show is this magician who's a skeptic, the psychotherapist, psychologist, whatever, parapsychologist, and Lily, the survivor of this event that happened a while ago. And then, like, not a whole lot happens. It's kind of stuff I've seen in these films. Nothing that made me really go, wow. It's kind of okay. Girl gets possessed. She levitates the chair. Sometimes you see, like, these electrical shots that are really digital. Really look fake, like a video game. Then, the skeptic says, I could do one better. Hypnotizes this guy. We see, and the footage shows that he's ripping his stomach out and there's worms. But then they play the tape back and it's just the guy open up his shirt. I get what they're trying to do. Even though we're seeing this on tape and the tape's not supposed to lie, what they're trying to do is they have the hypnosis right here, as if the viewer's been hypnotized. So when we see him and the worms erupting out of the stomach, it's us in the hypnotism of the audience. So even though we're seeing it on footage, it's just we were hypnotized just like they were hypnotized. And they even mention, how many of you didn't see that? Okay, there's like 3 or 4 people that didn't notice it, but the rest of us did see this as we thought we did. So it's trying to showcase like, what can you believe with your eyes and what you can't believe in your eyes. And then they show the tape earlier of the levitation. They see that, no, she really was levitating and it really was there. It was recorded. But now he sees his wife there, our lead character, a ghost. And then like a couple minutes later, the Lily jumps up, her head splits open, and these laser beams coming out of her head, and laser beams coming out of her arms, and it looks horrible. It was laughable. It looked stupid. Maybe the head split could look cool, but just like in the hypnotism, there's like a worm that comes out of the guy's head that looked decent, practical. But all the laser stuff, it looked like... It honestly looked like effects I would see on live-action Saturday morning shows. Like, I mean, Hercules, Xena, like those type of shows, which you're able to let go because they're, you know, campy TV shows that, you know, still have a TV budget at the end of the day. This is a movie. And it's supposed to look like the 70s. And then you have this video game, goofy-looking laser light show. I'm like, why didn't you try to do them like back to the day, like how they animation? That would actually work better if it was animation. Like how would they do these effects in the 70s? Like Star Wars, how did you do in Return of the Jedi? They did the laser, the electricity from Emperor Palpatine. It's from animation. They should have done with animation because at least it would look like that similar aesthetic of how films were made back then. And have like smoke and fog or whatever, not this stupid CG light show. And are the cameras seeing this now? Like, are the cameras... Because now we're wondering, okay, what is the camera picking up? Is the camera picking this stuff up? Because it seems like the audience sees this and they escape. The crew sees this and they're escaping. It looks like the camera's picking this up. Then it kills 3 people pretty quickly. It twists one guy's head into 180. It burns someone up in pretty bad CGI. What did it do to the girl? Hainzer. Then it cuts to the guy, and then we saw so many hints of this where, oh, Jack is part of this secret group called the Grove. And it's like, oh, what did you sell to get this? What did you sell to get this job? What did you sell to get this success? And then the demon says, I know you, we've met before. I know you, we met before. They pretty much have a neon sign saying, this guy's the reason his wife died. This guy's the reason why. So you knew that was coming. So it gets out of the found footage aspect entirely. Goes into trying to be a David Lynch type of thing where he sees remnants of his show, and then he enters a room with his wife, and he apologizes, and he's like, he didn't mean for this. Please end my suffering. He does. But then he wakes up. Now the camera pans out. I don't know who's controlling this camera that's panning out. I guess it's supposed to be just cinematic. Not found footage. The cops are coming. I guess the idea is that the cops will come and see that he stabbed this girl and he'll be arrested and famous. Which is what he did, a deal with the devil to be famous. Have his talk show be famous. He did the deal with the devil, demon, whatever. But then lo and behold, his wife died from cancer years later, and he got his most successful show. Just gonna be his last show. So it's, a bit of a downbeat ending. But even then I'm thinking, okay, are they trying to say that the footage is going to be fake and not see anything like the footage? But at the same time, if we're watching the master tape, that means if they watch the tape, that means the cop would have watched the same tape. Like the tape that we're seeing with all the light show stuff would be the stuff that the cops would have seen as evidence back in the day. And if that's the case of this master tape they're watching, they don't see the light show and the guy gets his head 180. The bodies are still there. One guy is burnt up. One guy's head is a pretzel. Are they going to look at this guy and go, yep, this scrawny looking guy, even though we have all this witnesses, they literally have a room of witnesses that could tell them, no, that guy didn't kill these people. She did. And then they looked at the footage. Yeah, it looks like she did all this. Were we all hypnotized? If we're all hypnotized, then he wouldn't be accountable. I guess him having the knife on the girl, but then it seems like there could be a lot of extenuating circumstances. And was that filmed, him stabbing the girl? Or were the cameras already off? If that's the case, just wipe the... Wasn't me. I don't know what... She stabbed herself. She did it. She slipped and fell on that knife. I don't know what happened. Also, where did that come from? I'm trying to think that he had the thing in his hand. Where the hell did that come from? I'm trying to remember. It just feels like there'd be a lot of extenuating circumstances with all the witnesses and the camera crew, the crowd, the footage. It never shows, oh, the footage actually shows him killing this guy and killing this guy, and people are horrified, and it possessed him. It possessed him and killing these people, but we saw this. It never shows that part. If it was like Michael Ironside narrated again, and, this is what we thought we saw, this is what really happened, it doesn't do any of that. So it leaves a lot more questions than answers. So that's why I'm very iffy on the ending as well. Like I said, it leaves a lot more questions than answers. It's not satisfying. I don't think it was scary. The light show, goofy CG made it not scary. The only reason I say it's okay is because I like the aesthetic, I like the gimmick, I like the lead actor's performance. And I think the first half is okay. The second half, I think it loses what it could be. Again, I would never see the film again. I did appreciate what it's trying to do, but again, I just think... I mean, people make fun of that found footage movie I reviewed, Fraud Man, but I think that was a much more satisfying watch for me. That for the whole film stuck with this aesthetic and looked like something from the 90s, videotape-wise. Like, at least it played by its rules. Except the very end, to be fair, the very end, which I get why, and I was fine with it, because I get what it did, and that's an example of it stretching from its rules, but I could see why. I could see the benefit of it. This, not really. I guess you don't have to give exposition, but at the same time, I don't know. I think there's other ways you could do that. You have Michael Ironside narrate portions in the middle of it or something. Or have people interviewed. And they're talking about, they were on set that day. And make it keep with the documentary format that you think you're going to have at the beginning. I don't know. That's just my opinion. If you disagree, that's fine. But I don't hate the film. I think it's just okay. And that's it. But again, that's just me. With that said, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.